So let's look at the wget command. So wget is basically a network downloader. It's a non-interactive network downloader for the shell, and you can use this to download any file you want, as long as you provide a URL. If there is a URL link for downloading a file, you can just fire in wget and the URL link, and you should be able to download that file. So let's go down, because I think I put it in a separate. So I have more details on CURL and wget in this another section, which is called 03 web interaction, and there is this network accessing network from shell. And in this, I discuss a little more detail about CURL, like I was mentioning before. With the CURL, you can download, and then for wget, you can use this wget command to download some file, or from a URL. So say, for example, I want to download this baby picture, and this picture is actually hosted in this link. So what I can do is I can just right click on this picture, open a new tab, and then you see the picture, and this is the URL, and it ends with the JPEG. So this is basically a file. So what you can do is you can just go back to the shell and then type in the command wget get, and then right click. Did not copy, sorry. Let me make a copy, and then wget and right click. So this is the URL. So you have, and then enter. So what it will do is, you see, it is connecting to the website from which on which this image is hosted, and then it is trying to download it. So what it said was 1.1 megabyte per second. That was the download speed, and it downloaded this file called "How to Cope with Your Baby's Acid Reflux." Okay. To check, let me list out that file. So you see there is a file called "How to Cope with Your Baby's Acid Reflux." This is a JPEG file, and you can do ls.lh to get a better idea. So this is a 184 kilobyte file, and this was last modified on February 15th 2018, and that is how you download something from a website. So this URL has multiple the web wget has multiple options. So one is the C option. So sometimes what happens is, you may have partial download because of network connectivity. So if you do a C option, then it will what it will do is it will resume if it is partially downloaded already. So it can resume a half downloaded file. So let's try another link. So here, this is a nice link which will help you download an archive file. So let's see, and we will use a C option. So we'll do wget-c, and in the some example.org. If you do this, then it will download this archive file from that folder. Okay. There are some more options that we will not go in details about. So let's go back to our previous web page where we were working on the other commands that we want to learn. So we have learned about CURL, you have learned about wget, and we'll be using these two in the exercise that we have in this tutorial. Okay, so let's look at the next two commands. So these two we have already discussed. This is top command, or htop command, and this is a process viewer. Once you file in the htop, it will show you memory usage and then CPU usage in real time, and some more information about the tasks that are running, and then the list of the tasks or the processes. You have the PID, then the user who is running it, and a bunch of information related to all those processes. So this is important because if you look at the next command, this is a kill command. So kill command is like a Windows an end now command. So you can kill a process by using a kill and a PID number. So the PID number you can get from this process viewer, and say if I want to kill this modem manager, this process, so I have to note down that 753, that is the process ID, and I can go back here and then kill 753, and if you issue that command, it will kill that process. This will not work here because I don't have permission to kill it, because I am just a user. But if you are an administrator, this kill command will work, and you will be able to stop that process. Okay. So now we will be covering two very important topics. One is called redirection using the arrow command, is called also called the redirection operator, and the second one is pipe. Pipe is using the straight line. This key is right above your enter key. So this is called piping, and we'll see how it works. So let's look at the redirection command. So what this arrow does is that it redirects the standard output into a file. And the format looks like this. So if you have a command, it gets an output. But if you use this arrow, then it will redirect that output, which was supposed to be outputted on the standard out or the console. And you can save that output into a file name. So this redirection operator can help you spit out the output directly into a file name. So let's look at some help here. Say for example, you're running a hello world program. This is a Python program, and it is supposed to say hello world. And if you use a redirection operator, it will create a file and save all that output into that file. So write std out into that file. Whereas another option is if you use a double arrow, what it means is it will append the output into that file. So single arrow means just spit it out into that file, and double arrow means it will append if the file exists. If it doesn't exist, then it will just work like the previous command. So redirection can be very useful if you want to uh, spit out the standard output. So what is standard output? Standard output means that you give an ls command, and whatever it spits out in the command prompt, this is called the standard output. And say for example here, what I can do is ls, and then I can use a redirection operator and say my list. What it did was it did not show anything, because the ls command, the output of the ls command is now redirected and saved in the mylist file. So if I do ls-l, you'll see there is a mylist file. And if you open that mylist file, say how to open, say if I do a more mylist or a cat mylist, let's do a cat mylist. You see all the details of that ls command is now inside this file, mylist. You can also use a more or say nano editor and my list. See the list ls, the output of the ls command is now in the my list command. It can be very useful. Say for example, I have, let's say you have this file called file4.txt. So if I cat file4.txt, so it has this hello I am file4.txt, and say I want to take this output and put it inside that new file that I created, my list. So what I can do is cat file4.txt redirect the output into my list, and it will not show anything. However, it just put all the contents into the my list. So if I do, because I use single quote, it will just replace whatever is there in the my list original file, and then replace it with the whatever the contents I was outputting, the standard output. So if I do a my list, it will show the standard output. Now let's repeat what we did before. Now what I want to do is that now I have this new my list where I have this all this text. I want to append or add the ls command or output of the ls into this. So let's do that ls, and then what I'll do is I'll do a double redirection. So this will do an append to my list. It will appended the ls. So now if I do a more of my list, you see it already had this hello I'm text4, and then after that it appended the output of the ls command. So this can be very useful, and you can use it in combination, in any combination. You just have to make sure that the output of one command goes into the file name. So let's do one thing, let's combine it with unzip command. So I have this unzip my zip file, and so what I will do is unzip and then just list the my zip file. So this is it, and I will redirect it to a text file. So let's do more of the text file. You see, the output is here.